Hello folks, this is Sullla again, doing a commentary and tutorial game for you here, featuring Brand. This is a replay that was sent to me by a viewer named Robaphone, so this replay is from his perspective as Brand, and I'm going to try to use this game as a tutorial of sorts for people who are still trying to learn League of Legends, that sort of thing. Not going to look at the whole game. This game was 58 minutes long, and I'm really not interested in going through a game quite that long, but we're going to look at the first 20 minutes or so, just try to point out some things that come out to me, and just give some commentary and feedback. Robaphone had asked me to take a look at this game, and although I get a ton of requests now, I actually get way more videos than I have time to look at. I wanted to look at least one viewer game since I hadn't done that in a while. Now that I have my power back on, and I have a chance to look at some stuff, I'm going to go ahead and do a viewer game here, just to give a little bit more advice and commentary. So, first of all, first thing that jumps out at me is, notice, no junglers on either team, no smites on either team. So this is already a bit of an issue. If you are not familiar with jungling, and you're interested in trying to improve, get better at this game, I would definitely suggest trying to learn to jungle. There are some champions that are pretty easy to learn with. Warwick is a great starting jungler. He clears the jungle reasonably fast. You can do it very safely. You can actually jungle with Warwick even with no runes, as long as you take cloth armor and 5 health pots. So if that would be one suggestion, first of all, if you're not used to jungling, just a good thing to practice so that you can get in the hang of doing it if you need to. Secondly, summoners. Odd summoner choices here from other champions. Heal teleport on Tristana. Ghost teleport on Master Yi. Actually, that's defensible. Ghost teleport's not that bad on Master Yi, but heal on Tryndamere. Really, you should never take heal under any circumstances in this game unless you absolutely have to. So don't recommend that by any means either. Strange laning matchups as well, in addition to the no jungler. Malzahar mid seems great, but then we have Tristana, Master Yi in top lane, a weird lane. We're going to have, I guess, Brand and Jax in bottom lanes. These lanes don't really make a whole lot of sense. So for people who are curious, in the current metagame setup, that is the way the game within the game is what the metagame is. Generally speaking, what people do is they put a tanky sort of bruiser champion in top lane, someone who has a lot of sustain. Cho'Gath, Singed, popular choices, Udyr, Lee Sin, just champions that have a lot of sustain, can sit in top lane and farm. Then in middle lane, currently, the most popular thing to do is to put ability power casters. Burst champions, generally speaking, are most popular in mid. Champions like Bran, Malzahar is a good choice, Annie, that sort of champion. Bottom lane is usually an AD carry, attack damage carry, so your Ashe, your Tristana, your Misfortune, along with some kind of a support, with the goal of the support being to keep them alive, to allow them to farm, that sort of thing. And then your jungler, of course, has the other role. So that's the current metagame setup that is most popular for League of Legends. You, of course, don't have to do that, but since that's what the most professional teams do, generally speaking, you might as well try to imitate them as much as possible, because they do stuff for a reason, usually because it works. Anyway, we have a big-time fight going on here at level 1. Flash is being popped on both sides back and forth. Doesn't look like anyone has actually died yet so far, but a lot of aggression on either side. One thing that, again, jumps out right away is not much focus on farming. I'm not seeing much focus on the minions on either side. So one thing you'll see when the people who have more experience play, generally there's a lot of focus on farming. There's a little bit less focus on attacking the other team. That does not to say you don't get in harass where possible, but you do want to try to be getting last hits wherever possible, because you're going to need that farm in order to get better items. If you don't get enough minion kills, you get underfarmed. Anyway, Jax, this is a really aggressive play from Jax, and he's going to die there. The reason why that's a big mistake is, notice all the minions here. At low levels, at levels 1 through maybe 4 or 5, minions are very strong compared to your champion. You're quite weak compared to minions. So as soon as Jax leaped in there onto that Karthus, yes, Karthus was almost dead, but he jumped into a huge wave of maybe 6 or 7 minions, and as soon as they all started firing at him, he took a ton of damage, so it's not surprising that he died there. And a really aggressive play. Anyway, Karthus using his teleport, getting immediately right back to the lane. Somewhat questionable use of teleport. It is defensible because he doesn't miss out on farm, but then again, he's not farming, so in that case, he possibly could have saved his teleport. But if you're going to bring teleport, getting back to the lane early on, not the worst play in the world. It does allow you to avoid missing out on golden experience. Anyway, another thing I've noticed here for Robaphone is I noticed put 2 points in E, conflagration, on Brand. With Brand, you really normally want to put 1 point in each of his 3 skills, Q, W, and E. Usually you start with a point in W, sometimes E, depends on the situation. Sometimes people like E. Oh, Jax is failing again. He's taking a ton of damage. Let's see if he can manage to survive this. Tryndamere, Tryndamere, he's dancing around the tower, and that's an unnecessary flash. There's no need to flash there, I don't think, unless he thought Jax was going to leap strike on him. Tryndamere should just go back to base at this point. I mean, he's so low, he's going to die if Jax goes in on him. Or maybe not. Looks like he was able to survive. Robaphone, if Jax is going to pick that fight, you probably need to be there with him. I think you could have killed Tryndamere. Anyway, to get back to my earlier point, most of the time with Brand, you want to put 1 point in each of his 3 skills because Brand, using his combo, is very important to his gameplay. You need a point in Q to be able to use his stun. His stun is on Q. You don't use Q for the damage. You put 1 point in it early on, and then you just leave it there. But you need to have a point in it, or else you can't get his stun off. And the stun is very integral to playing Brand. So I see at level 4, still no points in Q. So you really can't combo 2 points in W, 2 points in E. So again, with Brand, the general Brand combo, just in if you're 1v1ing someone else, is use E, Conflagration, to light them on fire, then Q, Sear, to stun them, freeze them in place, and then when they're stunned and can't move, then you use your W, your pillar, because it deals 25% extra damage if they're already stunned in place. So anyway, that's the basic combo. If you're fighting a large group, sometimes it can be more effective to start with W, with pillar if they're bunched up, and then hit a whole bunch of champs. Then immediately use that into E, because your Conflagration will hit a bunch of them at once, and then you can follow up with your ultimate. So W-E-R, then will do a lot of damage if there's a big group of them packed together. But anyway, just a little bit more about Brand as a character. I have played Brand a fair amount. I don't think I'm that good with Brand, even though he's a very strong champ. Oh, look at this. Karthus is low. Jax wants to dive him, and there we go. Gonna get that, and then actually a fairly decent flash to get out of there. Although he might have been able just to leap strike out of there instead of having to burn his flash. But nonetheless, Karthus dying. Karthus standing right here next to the tower with like 50 life. That Karthus, it should have just gone back to base. There's no reason to be sticking around in lane with no health. Like, once you get down low, if there's no farming to be done, just, go back to base. There's no reason to run around on low health. It just makes it way too easy for people to kill you. Alright, any other things that are going on? Another thing that's been going on in this lane is Robaphone. You are constantly on no mana whatsoever. You always seem to be on, like, no mana. As soon as you get any kind of mana, you use it up. See, right now, you can't use any of your skills. I guess you can use Q, but that's it. Like, when you have no mana, you're basically a really weak auto attacker, and that makes you almost useless. So there, once again, just, fired off that Sear fireball, and now out of mana again. Just enough for 1 pillar. On Brand, this is a particular issue because if you can't use your combo, he's not very strong. I mean, you need to be able to combo E into Q. Like right there, if you have mana, as Jax fails and dies yet again, like if you have enough mana, you can use E and then Q and you can stun somebody who's chasing you. But if you don't have that, you have no escapability. Like right now, your character's useless. All he can do is auto attack. Like he's not scary at all. And like right there, you got mana and then immediately used it again. So you need to be a little bit more sparing about how you use your mana. There's no real point in using Pillar of Flame and nuking a creep wave if it's not going to kill any of them. Anyway, and now Flash is down, so in a little bit of trouble here. And looks like Tryndamere is going to back off, so wisely not pursuing under the tower. Anyway, it looks like you have a decent amount of mana regen. 19 per 5 is a pretty substantial amount of mana regen. You just need to not spam your skills quite as much. The ideal is you want to try to save your mana for harassing your opponents. That is, use your skills on your opponents to harass them, and then try to use your auto attack to last hit. And this isn't the easiest thing in the world. It does take some practice to do, but with practice you'll get more used to it, and you can save your mana for using on enemy champions instead of just using it on the creep wave over and over again. Like that last pillar, it only hit 1 minion, and it's nice you got 1 minion kill, but only get the 1. And like right now, you can't even use your ult because ult costs 100 mana and you're consistently under 100. Like right now, it would be really nice if you could use a Pillar of Flame on these minions here. You get a whole bunch of minion kills. Let's see how many kills Robaphone actually gets under the tower. There's 1, and is he going to get a second one here? Attack the wrong one? No. So out of that whole wave of minions, only got 1. And that's just something you could work on improving. It's just not as strong as you could be if you're getting them. So looking at the farming stats, the only ones who are well, actually Robophone's doing an okay job. 33 is not bad in a duo lane at this point in time. Actually outfarmed Malzahar. Mordekaiser really the only one who's farming all that hard, and that's because Mordekaiser's skills kind of allow him to farm for him. Not going to pay too much attention to the other lanes. Looks like there's just kind of fighting back and forth everywhere as far as I can see. So we'll keep an eye on this bottom lane. Now, let's see. What is cow meat this Jax player bought? He looks like he started with a dagger and 6 health pots. Or he started with an attack dagger, and he also has a Doran's Blade. This is not a particularly good Jax build, to say the least. Usually the key early item on Jax is Gunblade. that you want to go for Hextech Gunblade. So I don't know what the attack dagger is for. Anyway, this Jax player is also really, really low. See if they decide to go in after him. If Karthus is 6, and yep, here comes the Karthus ult. And, oh, Jax is just barely going to live. Looks like he was drinking a health pot there, and that allowed him to survive. So a nice job to drink that health pot, otherwise he would have died. Karthus could have ulted a little bit sooner, too, and that might have been able to take him down. But so far, I think I'd say that this bizarre Tryndamere Karthus lane is winning down here in bottom lane. Oh, Jax, he's sticking around. Tryndamere, he wants the kill. Is he going to dive to get it? And no, he's just going to die at the tower. Maybe, I don't know why he didn't use Endless Rage. Maybe it was on cooldown, but I didn't see Tryndamere use it before. So Tryndamere could have gotten that kill very easily if he used Endless Rage. Spinning slash in, you pop Endless Rage right when he's about to die, attack 2 or 3 times, then flash out if he has flash, which he should, and he does. Oh, I guess he could have used his Summoner Heal. Maybe that would have helped. Zeal first, okay item. Maybe not the greatest on Tryndamere, but it is defensible. Actually, no, Zeal's not that bad on Tryndamere. Anyway, this Karthus is not doing a very good job with his Leyways. Oh, Robaphone, I feel like he could have killed Karthus there. Again, if he can just use his combo here. Oh, and Karthus, yeah, why Karthus decided to face check that brush when there were 2 people clearly down here in lane is beyond me. So getting the kill, that was really, really bad play on Karthus. I don't know why he tried to face check that brush. He just needed to go back to base and heal. His teleport is probably just about off of cooldown anyway. Anyway, more fighting elsewhere on the map. It is 7-7. The game itself is relatively close. There have been a lot of mistakes by each player on this side. I'm assuming that this is a game of players who are still trying to learn League of Legends and will get better as they play more games. In any case, itemizing Tear of the Goddess and Initial Boots on Brand, solid item choices. The most popular way to itemize Brand right now is to start with Boots and 3 health pots and then go into a Catalyst as the next item. That's the most popular way to build him right now. But Tear of the Goddess is defensible, assuming you're going to build it into Archangel's Staff later. It's not it's maybe not optimal, but it's not necessarily the worst way to build him. It's certainly better than Attack Dagger Jax, to say the least. Alright, anyway, Tryndamere in some danger here. He should have his ult out. Why is Tryndamere flashing? That was totally useless. And then Jax is ghosting for no reason either. So this is bizarre use of summoners. Anyway, a point about summoners. Your summoners are very valuable. You do not want to waste them unless you absolutely need to use them. Summoners are very, very key. You don't want to just be using flash if you don't need to, or using ghost if you don't need to. When you have your summoners up, you're much stronger than when you don't. When you don't have flash up, you're very vulnerable compared to when you do have flash up. It's just so much easier to get away when you have those summoners up. So you definitely don't want to go wasting them in situations where you don't need to. And that little fight about 20 seconds ago, there were some pretty needless summoner uses on both sides there. Anyway, I don't know what Master Yi is doing here. He just teleported into the lane for some reason. Looks like he's building a Wriggles, which is not a bad choice. Pretty solid choice, actually, for Master Yi. Now Leona has come into the lane. There's a nice job jumping onto the Jax player, and let's see, there comes a flash, and there's another counter flash. So remember what I said about those summoners and how valuable they are. Here comes the Karthus ult. It's going to finish off Calmead, and it's really a shame, once again, Robaphone, no mana right here, so he can't really do anything. He's almost useless in this fight. All you can do is auto attack. So that Leona was really low. And I have to feel like Robaphone should have been able to get that kill, but he never has any mana to do anything. So Robaphone, just another piece of advice to you. Make sure you have enough mana to use your skills. If you're running around on nothing, then, you know, like I said, you're just a weak auto attacker, and that's not too good. Trist also, look at this Trist. Such a dangerous position. Trist has 200 life. That's at level 8 or 9, a lot of skills do that. So really, if Trist gets hit with one skill, she's going to die, like one skill shot. Or if, I mean, Karthus just used his ult, so you don't have to worry about that. But if he gets his ult back, then, you know, he can almost one-shot her with his ult from Fountain, which is a really bad situation. And like there, that's just a waste of a pillar. Pillar, you've maxed pillar so far, 110 mana, just tossing it into a brush when you don't even know if anyone is there? Like, what a waste of mana that is. Oh, there's the summoner heal. Again, just a note, you don't take summoner heal. It's a bad summoner. Trist is way out of position. Is she gonna die here? Let's see. Looks like she's gonna be okay, but that positioning was not good. Trist was in a lot of danger right there, and if the enemy team had followed up on that faster, she would have died right there. And Trist, let's see, what does she have? No escape ability summoners, heal teleport, so no escape skills, no ghost, no flash, no cleanse. Only has rocket jump, so very vulnerable. Where's the Jax? It looks like Jax has gone to middle lane. This Jax is pretty much uselessly underfarmed at this point in time. Oh, that's kind of funny. It's like, oh, there's what did I say about using your summoners? Totally needless flash. That Tryndamere was not going to kill you there. Oh, what is this Tristana going to do? Just going to walk into the brush and fight this Leona. What is Leona doing? I guess she's just going to kill that Leona. I don't know why the Tryndamere didn't react and go up there to help out. That Tristana is still only on 400 life. I feel like they could have killed her pretty easily when she did that, but I guess it worked out. I guess it turned out okay. One other thing to point out is notice how the lanes are just sort of whatever people want them to be. People are just moving around lanes like crazy, not staying in lanes. Up here in top lane, there's been nobody in top for ages on end. All these minions just fighting and dying. No experience being gained by anyone on either team. This is why you generally want to stick to your laning matchups. You pick them for a reason. I mean, sometimes you can get a swap to get a better laning matchup, but just running around the map willy-nilly is a really inefficient way to play this game. In the early portions of the game, you want to be in lane, you want to be gaining gold, gaining experience. It makes you so much stronger for the later game. If you just run around the map team fighting, you're going to be very weak compared to people who stay in their lane and continue farming. So yeah, we started with Tryndamere and Karthus, now Leona's been down here, Tristana's down here, it's just all different champs whatsoever. Anyway, that's a nice initiate by that Leona. If she follows up on it, should be able to kill Tristana, but nope, Trista's going to use her rocket jump, going to get out of there. Again, Robaphone, I haven't really seen you use your stun at all in this game as Brand, and that's really key to his gameplay. If you're not landing those Qs to stun people, then you can't get off, you can't really get off your full damage combo. So again, like I said, E into Q into W into ultimate is sort of the basic combo, and you just never seem to have enough mana to be able to do that. Like, that pillar didn't hit anything. It didn't even hit one minion, and now you're on no mana again and can't use any skills. So just need to be a little bit more careful about doing that. Not trying to repeat myself too much, but need to be more careful about doing that. I guess Master Yi is going to try to come in here and gank. Let's again see how many minion kills Robophone's going to get here. So far, Master Yi has taken a lot of them. Can you get any of these? And no, did not get any minion kills there. So again, farming under the tower, another skill to practice. Normally, you have to 2 tower shots and then 1 auto attack will get a melee minion. Normally, 2 auto attacks and 1 tower shot will get a caster minion. So again, it's just something you can practice, something that you can work on. Anyway, this is not the best time to go back. Yeah, Master Yi, oh, Master Yi's on 10 HP. Karthus flashing in to use his ult. You don't need to flash in to use Karthus ult. He could have just stood in the background and killed him with Karthus ult. Master Yi maybe could have meditated. I don't think it would have been enough to save him, but he could have at least tried it. You do get a lot of magic resist when you go into meditation. Should have at least tried that. So the actual game is relatively close, 11-9 in kills. Mordekaiser is really the only one who's doing a lot of farming in this game, and again, that's probably more due to the fact that his skills kind of farm for him. One of the reasons why I dislike Mordekaiser, my least favorite champ in the game. Anyway, the Brand build here, Sork Shoes, good pick there. It looks like going for a Hextech Revolver. I mean, that's okay. I've seen that build before. I'm not a huge fan of it. It does give you a lot of sustain in lane because you get the spell vamp, but it doesn't give you a lot of survivability. Only 1,000 health, no real armor or magic resist at level 10. So this is a very squishy Brand. It has a fair amount of AP, does have decent sustain with the spell vamp, but in an actual team fight, it's going to be relatively weak. And that's a pretty decent ultimate there, getting in a lot of damage, but now the tower has gone down, so going to be pretty vulnerable here. That Leona should just back off because she's going to die. Yeah, she didn't need to fight that. Karthus should do the same thing. Like, that's just a suicide walk by Karthus. They should have gotten the tower and then just backed. No reason to do that fight. The other team just needlessly handing 2 deaths there. They got the tower. That's all they needed to. No reason to advance forward. They took a lot of damage from that Brand ult. It was a good Brand ult there under the tower. Caught 3 of them. Did a lot of damage, but they could have easily disengaged from that fight, and instead 2 of them died pretty needlessly. And it looks like Robophone's team can now push on this tower in bottom lane. Only Tryndamere here. So, let's see. Are they going to try to dive this Tryndamere? They probably shouldn't. Tryndamere is going after Robaphone, and he's going to get the kill. There is a buster shot coming in from Tristana. Oh, and this tower dive is going all kinds of wrong. Jax is going to die too. So, yeah, that wasn't done very well there. Although, I don't know why Trista's running. She should be able to kill this Tryndamere. Well, maybe not. Looks like Endless Rage to the rescue, or Undying Rage to the rescue there. So Tryndamere just scored a triple kill defending that tower. And yeah, that really didn't go well. That could have been managed a lot better there. That Tryndamere has Merc Treads and Zeal, so he's not really that strong. Not really any need to go there. Also, by the way, Tryndamere is not overpowered at all, not even a little bit. He's only overpowered when people make mistakes when they fight him like that, or if you allow him to get an incredible amount of farm. He's actually a lot weaker since the rework than he was before it, as a lot of Tryndamere players have been complaining about on the forums. So anyway, yeah, Tryndamere, if you're seeing Tryndamere banned in ranked games, you're probably at a relatively low skill level, because he's really not particularly overpowered. So anyway, just taking stock of this game, not too much more to say about this one. That was a nice job right there. That was a nice job. WE to farm that minion wave. That's the brand combo for farming minion waves. Is normally enough to kill a group of ranged creeps. So right there, very nicely done. That's exactly what you want to do, how you want to farm with brand. W and E together are normally enough to take out a row of ranged minions. So something that was well done there. Anyway, we're at the 20-minute mark. I think I'm going to cut the video here. I think we've seen enough. So once again, thanks to Robaphone for sending this to me. Just like I said, just some basic tutorial stuff. Maybe it's old hat to other people, but thought I'd do this. Thought I'd look at a little bit of a viewer game. So once again, thanks for sending. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you again soon.